just had to calm my own nerve. If you catching the replay, hopefully by the time we get into this, everything is better. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, ooh. I had to decompress because I just finished watching. I'm finished. They still going, but I just finished watching somebody else's live stream. Ugh, ugh. It like made me want to vomit. I'm not even exaggerating. Not even a little bit. Like it just made me want to just puke right out of my mouth. Gross. Anyway, what's up, Erica? Oh, it's so good to see familiar people in the chat. I'll be missing y'all when I don't have my regulars in the chat. But yes, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. How you feeling? What's going on? Hey, help me bring me out of it. I should have been watching. I was trying to support a friend who is participating in this live stream. It's not something that they normally do, but you know, I don't know, but girl, I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're here. Listen, I see your name pop up and I'm like, cool, my people here. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you get to like the function and you don't see nobody, but then you see your cousin, your favorite cousin, you be like, oh, cousin, like you feel good. Listen, you love my content and I love you. So it's a win, 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 win. But yeah, I was why are you sorry, KG? Don't be sorry. Listen, I'm over here. I am triggered. I'm triggered. Real triggered over here. But it's cool though, you know, because like I don't have to stay triggered. I'm in my space now. It's all good. Thank you for your love on a live. KG, shout out to you. Hi, welcome to the live stream. Happy Wednesday. It's hump day, y'all. And it's been a very interesting day. I don't think anybody is on the top tier of my membership. I know I was supposed to have a live today. Hey, did I ever figure out the meme? No, I gave up on that meme. I gave up on it because I could not understand. I feel like whoever made it is just tricking us. Somebody was like stability. I don't know how y'all got stability out of a stapler, Cardi B, and cheese. Like I could understand if it was stability, but that's not what it is. So y'all making stuff up. Y'all tried it, but not in this Black History Month. We're not doing that. Y'all not about to just burst my brain wide open, okay? Okay. But yeah, so we did all of that, and I appreciate y'all for being here. It's been an interesting day. Thank you. Yes, please hit that like button. It has been an interesting day. I was supposed to get a lot more work done earlier. I was gonna do the live stream that I was supposed to do earlier. All the things. Yes, therapy for tomorrow. I appreciate that. I'm glad to hear that. I have therapy next week in person. Praise the Lord. But yeah, it was supposed to be a productive day, but they're doing fire alarm testing this week. And so I couldn't record anything. I couldn't take a nap. It was loud. Today was a loud day, but it's all right. I cleaned up a depression apartment because my apartment was looking like sadness. Okay. Everything is clean now. So I'm grateful for that. I just got to sweep and mop and I'll be good to go. I went to a book signing. I'm excited to read about this book. It's called The Drama Diet or something, and by Lisa Stewart. And she's talking about how to like basically get the drama out of your life. And my thing is, I thoroughly enjoy, like I was showing y'all early, what was that, yesterday? All the memes that I've come up with. I thoroughly enjoyed all of the drama, like other people's drama. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna drop in a good chat section and I'm gonna just read. I'm gonna lurk. I'm really not even gonna say too much. I'm gonna read and lurk and watch because it just proves my life is not as hard or as bad as I thought it was, because y'all got a lot of drama. Like, especially this month and the things that's happening on the news, and people share a lot of things. I don't think y'all believe in secrets anymore. You know what I'm saying? Secrets are just not a thing anymore. People be talking about drama, you know? What's up, Jelly Bite? Thank you. That's that, what is this? I think this is Kiss and the Lip Bar combination. Any tips from going to a civilian to a straight gangster asking for a friend? Well, word on the street, you know, if you want to go from a civilian to a straight gangster, first you gotta eat a lot of bananas. I don't make the rules, but that's where you gotta start with. Eat a lot of bananas. You know what I'm saying? And then what's up? Shout out to the mod. You gotta eat a lot of bananas. And then you have to drink from only one side of your mouth. You have to stay committed to that. Only one side of your mouth. That's it. Okay. Hey, thank you. I hope you're doing well as well. I'm not reading yet. I didn't get to the book yet. I will. I will. Um, I'm your wife's twin. Your wife must be beautiful. I feel like you're about to say, what if you're allergic to bananas? Or what if you can't drink from one side of your mouth? Good. I'm glad. Yes, but you can only drink. Only eat bananas. You got to eat a lot of bananas, and you can only drink from one side of your mouth. And then you have to get rid of every shoestring in your entire shoe collection. Every shoestring has to go. That's it. That's how you start. That's how you initiate. So don't tell your friend that you got the information from me because it's like a secret, but that's how you get started. And like, you know what I'm saying? And then get a cramp in your hand. That's how they get like the gang signs and everything. They just get a hand cramp. So you like hold your phone for like 24 hours and don't let it go. It'll happen naturally. And whatever your hand does, that's the sign for what you do. I have no idea what that means. To shine. I don't know. Okay. But anyway, welcome to the live. If this is your first time joining my live, my name is Christal Luster, and I am so many things. I do comedy, I sing, I write, I act. I talk about relationships and wellness and the entertainment industry as an actor, like all the things. I do a lot of different things. So if you're here, I am at the tail end of a 40-day live stream challenge where I am reading this book, The 40-Day Sugar Fast. So I have been fasting from refined sugar for the last 40 days, almost 38 days. And it's been very interesting. It's been good. I decided to go on this fast because I realized I was eating my feelings last year and I did not want to keep doing that because it was not only adding to the weight, but it was adding to the weights. You know what I'm saying? Like the weight I carry on my shoulders, all the things that I was holding on to that I wasn't really addressing. So that's why we did that. This is not church. I am not a pastor. The only rule of my life is if you cannot be kind, be quiet. That's all I ask. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm just sharing my heart. And there have been people who have been asking me if I'm going to continue doing daily live streams. I'm definitely going to try to keep them regular. I do think I'm going to take a tiny little break, like a teeny tiny little break, because I'm going to be traveling all next week. And I feel like that's a good time to remind y'all of the things that are coming up. So first up is Houston. There are still tickets for the Houston screening of the movie that I'm in, Tying Knots. That's on a community tab. You can go over to the community page and look for that post. There are tickets for that screening. It's a Q&A with me, my co-star Brandon Goss, and our director and writer Holly. Then Tuesday, we're in Austin, Texas. So we'll go from Houston, Texas on Monday to Austin, Texas on Tuesday. And then I'll be in Chicago. I have the Lovish event that I'm going to be posting about tomorrow on next Thursday in Chicago, right outside of Chicago. And that's a free event. All you have to do is RSVP. There'll be refreshments, there'll be entertainment, there'll be more of my story, more of my brother Mike's story, and we'll be doing a Q&A. And then next weekend, if you are an actor, aspiring actor, a writer, like anything in the entertainment industry and the film industry, I am hosting IndieCon in Chicago. So I'll be there Saturday and Sunday hosting both days. Come hang out. Ticket links are in the community tab for all of those things. Cool. What's up, Ricky? How you doing? Is that Lucy? Yes, it is Lucy. Well, hey, what's going on? Okay. So thank you, but no thank you. All right. My fight or flight or freeze response has been working without pay this week. Stress is no joke. Listen. It is no joke for sure. Stress is a literal killer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that you have therapy tomorrow. We're real big advocates of mental health over here. This is a real community, a real family, all the things. So make sure you take care of yourself. Okay. Wow, there's a lot of things happening here. Like what are we talking about here? Hi everyone. Hey. Can you get a shout out? What's up, Ninja? What is that? Ninja Go fan. Okay. Hello. So as I said, can I just get a pause real quick? Because I'm like really loving this like brown on brown. Like my outfit today was kind of eating. I'm not even gonna hold you. What is this stream about? I am at the tail end of a sugar fast, and I'm just sharing what I'm learning while reading this book. That's what this particular live is about. But typically when I'm going live, I'm doing some type of activity or playing a game or painting or something like that. But I just want to show y'all, I'm gonna post this later, so pretend like you saw it for the first time. But like, I was just really feeling like I ate this look today. I really feel like I ate this look today. Do y'all see that? Like, it's a little blurry from this angle, but I just really feel like I ate this look today. I don't know. It was giving all the things. And it was funny because like I don't really have that together, but in my brain I was like, this dress, because it got like a little slit, and I was like, okay, curves coming through, and then my little jacket with the arms rolled up, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw in a pattern bag, and it did the things for me today. It's those days where you just gotta like lean into the fact that you feel like you feel pretty, you know. Yes, bum bum bum. Oh, thank you. Oh, wait. Thoughts on a sexless marriage. Let's circle back to that. If you stay around, we will circle back to that because I do have comments. I'm trying to quit sugar, deal with schizoaffective bipolar, but I'm so addicted I quit nicotine. First of all, congratulations for quitting nicotine. That's no easy feat from what I hear. I've never actually smoked before, but I'm very happy and proud of you. Quitting sugar is really huge. So reading this book, where physical detox meets spiritual transformation, and like one of the big things about sugar from like a physiological perspective is that it is the culprit in a lot of disease, chemical imbalances, hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer. Tumors literally thrive off insulin, off sugar. So I highly recommend, if whether or not you walk in faith, if you have a faith life, I highly recommend a sugar fast. It's very helpful. I personally have seen a lot of benefits. I don't get as achy. I feel like my skin has cleared up a lot. My jawline is more defined. So aside from like the weight that I've clearly lost, I do feel like I'm not as sluggish. I don't have as much of a brain fog. I'm definitely addressing more of my mental health by not being in a sugar-induced like stupor all the time. So rooting for you in your journey for sure. Am I married? I am not. Just started on February to church and reading the Bible. Yes. Come on, big journey. Proud of you. I'm proud of you. And I celebrate you like taking care of your mental wellness because that is really, really important to me. So the reason why I do comedic content is because I believe that comedy is curing. Comedy is definitely helpful. And it is how I cope. I've dealt with a lot of grief, anxiety, high functioning depression, different things like that. And so I'm really big on laughter because it does help, especially in today's climate. So I highly recommend that you subscribe if you have not subscribed yet, because you're going to find something funny on this page at least once a day. So why did I choose to wear an infinity ring? Because I love a Black woman from infinity to infinity. And that's literally how it plays in my head every time I put this ring on. But this was a birthday gift that I bought for myself 2 years ago. 2 years, last year, 2 years ago, something like that. 2 years ago, because I was still living in Chicago. Yep. Birthday gift to remind myself that I love myself, and I love who I am and I love who I'm becoming. And I always got me. If nobody else got my back, I got your back, girl. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the word of the day and then break it down because I still got a ton of stuff to do before I go to sleep. Okay. What is Wendy talking about? Now, mind you, just as a preface, Wendy be speaking in Christianese. I'm going to break it down because I personally don't like Christianese. I get it. I understand it. I speak it. I'm fluent in it. But I don't always find it helpful, especially in spaces like this. Because again, this is not church. I'm not a pastor. I'm not trying to be nobody pastor. I just like to share what's from my heart. Okay. So day 38, getting down to the root. And she's coming from Psalm 1:1-4. She says, blessed is the one who does not walk in step with the wicked or stand in the way that sinners take or sit in the company of mockers, but whose delight is in the law of the Lord, and who meditates on his law day and night. That person is like a tree planted by streams of water, which yields its fruit in season, and whose leaf does not wither. Whatever they do prospers. Not so the wicked. They are like chaff that the wind blows away. This past month, my youngest son has been learning about the water cycle in his science class. One interesting way that water is siphoned up from the ground is with the help of trees. Transpiration is the process by which root systems drink up groundwater, carry the water up the trunk, through the branches, and finally out to the green leaves where moisture exits the plant in the form of water vapor. Y'all didn't think y'all was gonna get a science class today, did you? I didn't. Warm air lifts the water vapor up into the sky until the temperatures cool, and water droplets form around tiny dust particles. Millions of minuscule drops gather together to create a cloud. When the cloud gets heavy enough, water drops in the form of precipitation, nourishing the earth once again. Science! Where is Bill now? Bill Nye, the science guy, when you need him. Oftentimes, I look around at the natural world and I am overcome by the reality of a creative creator who so lovingly provides all we need: good, pure, life-giving water. Yet sometimes I choose to drink from the wrong source, gulping down polluted lies that lead to a polluted life. Psalm 1 has been one of my favorite Bible passages for most of my life. I love the imagery of a flourishing tree that starts down at the root system. It is both poetic and practical, beautiful and biological. Just like a tree, when the roots of our lives reach down deep and tap into a healthy water source, we thrive and bear fruit, season after season. But not any old water will do. If you want a flourishing life, you must abide beside nourishing streams. Similarly, if you want to bear the fruit of God's Spirit in your thought life, your words must be rooted in His Word. If you want your work life and your eating life and your home life to bear the right kind of fruit, you must be firmly planted by the right kind of water. Before you can embrace a healthy life, expect health to extend its branches out beyond these 40 days. You must consider where you have been rooted all these years. Addictions don't spring up by accident, you know. Addictions grow on the branches of lives that are rooted beside the wrong water source. Earlier, we talked about some of our food triggers, those age-old habits and hurts that cause us to run to food or drink for comfort or reward. Of course, to plant our lives beside life-giving streams, we must first uproot them from the rancid flow of lies we've believed in the past. Just as truth nourishes healthy lives, lies feed unhealthy lives. Take a moment to pinpoint the lies from which your roots have been drinking. Perhaps you've been overweight since early childhood and you drink words daily like, "Nothing I do has ever changed my weight or my eating. Nothing ever will." If you are planted beside this lie, you've got to yank it out by the root and replant your life beside what is scripturally true. God's word said that He makes all things new. I am loved by the Lord, who came to set prisoners free and heal those who are sick. I am ready for God to do a new thing in my life because He told me that He can and He will. Overeating makes me happy is another familiar lie. Pull it out by the root and replant your life beside this truth instead. The joy of the Lord is my strength. With Him, I overcome with joy. I am overcome with joy. I don't want a dopamine-induced happiness that a sugar high brings. I want the satisfied joy that the Most High offers to those who are planted in His word and in His presence. If you have believed the lie that you are unloved and unlovable, pull it out and plant this in your heart: I am eternally and abundantly loved. I'm going to read that one more time because I feel like somebody needs it. If you have believed the lie that you are unloved and unlovable, pull it out and plant this in your heart: I am eternally and abundantly loved. Maybe the lies you've believed now, maybe the lies you've believed are now lies that you act upon. I deserve a bowl of ice cream after a long day with the kids. I deserve a candy bar from the checkout lane at the grocery store. I deserve a win after a day of losses. Here's the truth you need to ingest today. You don't deserve anything. You can have it if you want, but it's not your just desserts. As a matter of fact, when you live this reward-centered life, playing tit for tat with mochas and wine, your reward will end up feeling more like a curse. I'm reminded of the lesson we learned on day 10. God is our reward. That's the truth we need to abide by. When we turn to our next sugar high instead of the Most High, we don't get lifted high. She was clever with that one. We end up feeling lower than before because after a sugar high comes a sugar crash, and that's no reward at all. When we turn to sugar substitutes for our reward, we end up both physically and spiritually malnourished. You're coming to the end of these 40 days of fasting from sugar, but I want to encourage you to fast from lies for the rest of your life. Uproot yourself from a negative inner dialogue, then plant yourself beside true waters. The way to plant yourself in the truth is to plant the truth in yourself. Combat the lies you hear with nourishing truth straight from the Bible. That's what Jesus did. When he was tempted by the devil during his 40-day fast in the wilderness, he fought back by speaking truth. Here's how it began. And this is coming from Matthew chapter 4. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And after fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. And the tempter came and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread." But he answered, "It is written, man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God." When you are firmly planted by true waters, nourished by and meditating on God's word, what you read becomes what you speak. What you take in flows out. It's the living water cycle. 40 days of truth won't be enough to sustain you for life. This must become a lifestyle now. Whether you pick up a candy bar on day 41 or continue living a sugar-free life, continue feasting on the Bible. Ingest God's word, because that's where God has invested his transforming power. And then the prayer of the day is, "Oh Lord, thank you for your word. Increase in me a hunger for it because it brings nourishment to my life. As I meditate upon its truth, establish my roots so that I might drink deeply and bear your fruit in my life. In Jesus' fruitful name, I pray. Amen." So there are two things that stood out to me about this particular devotional. Number one, I want to circle back to what I said before. If you have believed the lie that you are unloved and unlovable, pull it out and plant this in your heart. I'm eternally and abundantly loved. And that part is so, so important. It just kind of transported me back to a conversation that I had on my birthday. I was dating somebody at the time, and I don't even know how we got into this conversation, but there's a reason why I'm not dating that guy anymore. Things were not going well. And I felt really insecure while I was dating him. And I think part of it, and I talk about this, like, as I mentioned earlier, I'm creating a community for people who have walked through divorce and who are re-entering the dating space and like just trying to navigate what that looks like from our lens. And there was a part of me that felt unlovable because of the scars that I bear from going through a really painful divorce. And I think whether you are someone who has walked through divorce like me, or whether you're someone who has been abused like I've been abused, or whether you're someone who had a really rough childhood or who made some mistakes and had, some really bad habits that led to a really, questionable decisions or whatever it is, there are things in our lives that can force us to listen to lies that we are unlovable or that we are unloved. There may even be people who are saying those things. But as a person of faith, we can always bet that we are loved. No matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter how we act, no matter if we get things right or if we get things wrong, we are always in position to be loved because God's love transcends everything. When scripture talks about love covering a multitude of sin, it's not saying you could just, live a lawless life and do whatever you want and, your actions are fine. It's saying your actions do not define how lovable you are. It might, for some people, define how likable you are, but loved, you are always loved. You are always chosen. You are always loved and lovable. And that's a lie that I used to kind of repeat to myself was that, I'm damaged goods. Nobody will love me. And that is a lie. It is a complete lie. And if somebody is listening to this, whether you're watching it now or if you are catching a replay, if you have been rehearsing to yourself that you are unloved or you're unlovable, that is a lie. It is a lie. It is a lie. What the truth is that you are loved and you are lovable. And I want to encourage you to repeat that to yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and say it until you believe it. I don't care if you have to say it 100 times a day. Just keep saying it. Number two, so this devotional was called Getting Down to the Roots. So like being grounded, right? From a mental health perspective, I talk a lot about getting grounded because a lot of times, if you deal with anxiety, people who are more anxious leaning, a lot of times, wait, hold on. Hey, Alexa, stop. She was about to remind me of something. A lot of times when we are dealing with anxiety, Our brains are like all focused on future possibilities, not even definite things, but our brains are just firing off. If you've ever seen Inside Out 2, this is anxiety, just running around the room, just computing all these different outcomes and being scared of stuff that may not ever even happen. And so when we're rooted and when we're grounded from a mental health perspective, people say touch grass, like literally grounding is, you tapping, you hug yourself, you find a texture. That's why they have like those fidget spinners or, something with texture that you could just kind of touch, because it helps bring you out of the clouds and back into your body. And it helps to calm your brain down, and it tricks your brain into not being so future focused, but being right back in the moment. Textures, smells, sounds, whatever it is, using your senses to bring you right back down into your body so that you can calm your nervous system. In the same way, from a spiritual perspective, it's important for us to be grounded and rooted in something that is stable. And what I love about the sugar fast is that sugar, much like emotions, is unstable. You have that high and then you have that crash. One of my favorite things to do as an aunt with no kids is, especially when the kids are little, I used to give my nieces and nephew candy once I knew they were going home. So, oh, y'all spending the weekend with me? Fantastic. We're eating good. Oh, I'm about to drop you off back home. Who wants candy and cake? Because that's just the rite of passage, right? And I want to be the fun aunt. So yes, have your feel. And they gonna be hyper, and then they gonna crash and sleep hard. You know what I'm saying? I did it as a kid. They got to do it as a kid. But the problem with doing that habitually is that we're adults. Most of us, I'm assuming people watching this, are adults. We have things to do. We have lives to lead. We cannot afford to be up and then flat down. You know what I'm saying? And so from that physiological perspective, doing a detox from sugar helps us to be a little more clear, and it helps us to be grounded instead of up and down, up and down, up and down, and unstable. It messes with our emotions, our hormones, our health, all those things. But then from a spiritual perspective, being grounded, I've talked about this a few times during a live stream. I'm not a person who subscribes to religion. I don't believe that, like, from a legalistic perspective, oh, I'm saved because I go to church and because I tithe and because, I hold the door for people when I walk in the store. Do I do those things? Yes. But my faith is rooted in relationship. I have a relationship with God. I have real conversations with God. I don't just recite the same thing over and over again and I don't believe it. Or like if I have questions, I ask. There are some things that I see and I'm uncomfortable with, and we have a conversation about that. I have a real relationship. It's a choice. It's not always comfortable. It's not always easy. It's not always practical. But the most practical thing about my relationship and my decision to have a relationship with God is literally the choice, the decision. So when I get it, when I don't get it, when it feels good, when it doesn't feel good, I have made this decision and it has not backfired on me. So putting that into perspective, that's what grounds me. That's what gives me a firm foundation. And what I love about the imagery, like Wendy said, that's one of her favorite scriptures. It's one of mine too, because there's this imagery of nature and how trees grow. Like, I grew up in the Midwest, so I'm used to, when fall happens, the leaves change colors and then they fall off the tree, and then the tree is bare and things die. And then in spring, they come back, right? But this imagery of a tree planted with the roots so deep down into this riverbank that it bears fruit in and out of season. It bears fruit during the winter time. And it's a metaphor for how we are when we are always deeply rooted and connected to a source that does not cause a sugar crash, that does not fail us, that does not bring our health down, that does not make us unstable. And it's a beautiful thing to know that no matter what life throws at me, no matter what outward circumstances come my way, I have a firm foundation that I know is always going to be steady and dependable, and is always going to give me what I need in and out of season. It may not look like it. It may not feel good. I may not understand it, but what I can bank on is that I'm always be taken care of. And that has been my experience. And I pray that, if you are a person of faith, that that's your experience. If you aren't and you're curious about it, that you have that encounter with God that leads you to see the truth of that. Because I can say from my experience, that's what it's been for me. Now, as we are coming to the close of this fast. We have 2 more days of this sugar fast. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I do miss cake. But more than anything, I'm so grateful. I woke up this morning like just literally so grateful that I have gotten back into the habit of not running away from the things that are bothering me. Um, because there is nothing more heavy than thinking you're getting away from your problems by avoiding them and leaning into something that creates more problems. It's just nonsensical at the end of the day. And so I want to encourage you all to just take into consideration what it looks like for you to sit in a discomfort of reality. I know that can be big. I know that can be scary. I know that can be heavy. And I'm not saying to live in your problems or to live in a doom and gloom state. But what I am saying is do what helps. Do what helps, not what hurts. At the end of the day, if we are leaning into substances to become numb, that doesn't help at the end of the day. It might feel like help temporarily, but in the long run, it doesn't help at the end of the day. And I just want to encourage you to, do what helps. I'm always going to advocate for you to do what helps at the end of the day. And I'm always rooting for y'all. I say that and I mean it. I really, really do. Let me catch up on some of these comments. Hold on, Lucy in the background. Yes. Quite a few trees have wider root systems in their own heights, I'm sure. How do we get out to new rooted water? Do you mean that? I don't know if Kelsey is still on here. Do you mean that as a like metaphorically speaking? I'm assuming so. Is Lucille Ball behind me? Yes. Give yourself a goal to get motivated. Goals are good. I'm here listening, fall asleep, don't feel. I'm not offended at all. You can always catch the replay too. I hope you get some good rest. I know it's late over there. Hello from behind on the West Coast. Trying to switch over to Coke Zero and water. Listen, sparkling water helps. Sparkling water helps, especially if you add like a little squeeze of fruit, like lemon, lime, orange even. If you put some strawberries in there or whatever, it helps. I've weaned myself off pop for the most part. Like every now and then if I'm out and all they have is like a Diet Coke, I might have that, but I try not to make that a habit. Mostly sparkling water. Mostly sparkling water. Yes, Matthew is one of my favorite chapters as well. Or passage of my favorite books. You are welcome. Looking it up, aspartame, probably. Having been through adversity does not make you unlovable. Amen to that. Love conquers all, never fails. Yep. First time on this channel, I heard an Alexa reference. Because I forgot that I set the timer to go off at 10. And yeah. I expected to be back from where I was at earlier. And I got started later because I had to like bring myself down from the triggering live stream I was listening to earlier. But we're all good. How do you know if your soulmate is near? Oh, that reminds me of the other question. I'm going to answer this question and that other question, and then I'm going to end it so I can get my stuff together. How do you know if your soulmate is near? Here's the thing, right? This may be an unpopular opinion, if I'm being really honest. I don't know if I believe in soulmates in a traditional sense. I think I used to growing up watching rom-coms. I used to believe in soulmates. But then when I got married and everything was just not soulmate-ish about that, I was like, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. And then you hear these stories of people who may have had a loved one that was the love of their life, and then they passed away. And so now they're a widow or a widower, and they end up finding a second love. And it's like, okay, so was one a liar, or like, what's the deal? But then also, when my sister passed away, it broke my heart in a way that like she was my soulmate. She was my non-romantic soulmate. Like she was literally, you know how back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, but back in the day we used to have like those best friend necklaces that would be 2 halves of a heart, and it would be like the zigzag down the middle, and one would say best and the other would say friend, and when you put them together it would make the whole heart. Like when she passed away, I literally felt like she took half of my heart with her. I don't know if y'all have seen this series, one of my favorite series of all time, Once Upon a Time. It's a great series. I've probably seen it maybe like 8 times just because I love how they take these fairy tale stories and like turn them inside out and give the villains their origin stories. And like, it just goes to show that everyone has a capacity for good or evil. And it's just really about your choices and what you decide to do with that. And how circumstances can shape you into the person that you were always meant to be. I digress. I remember the two main characters who played Snow White and Prince Charming. At one point, one of them was dying, but they were like true soulmates. They were Prince Charming and Snow White. And so I think it was Snow White who like took her heart out, broke it in half, and then gave him a piece and her a piece. And so now they were sharing one heart. And obviously that's a fairy tale, right? But the imagery of that really made sense to me because my sister was the other part of my heart. Like she understood me, she held space for me. I felt safe with her. She was the keeper of my secrets. I was the keeper of her secrets. We could speak, we could have a whole conversation with just our eyes. She would think it, I would say it. We supported each other through and through with everything. I would do anything for her and she would do anything for me. And we trusted each other completely. And I've never in my life, including being married, have been more seen by a single other person ever. And I've had some close seconds, but no one has ever, I've never felt more seen, more understood, and more loved by another human being than by my sister. And so, that being said, do I believe that romantic soulmates exist? Sure, but is it like in a sense of it's just one person? I don't know. How do you know they're near? For me, an indicator is being seen and being understood and being valued and being loved and supported. Like the culmination of those things is what I feel like are good criteria for a soulmate. Hopefully that answered your question. What's up, Tony? How you feeling? Still in the ICU. Listen, been praying for you for sure. Definitely been praying for you. I hope that I was thinking about you yesterday. We missed you yesterday. Wait, what else somebody else said something else before this. I didn't want to, okay, maybe I missed it. I don't know. But my belief on witchcrafts, they exist. I think that witchcraft is not always as spooky as people make it to be. I think that there's a lot of witches in church, if I'm being honest with you. I didn't see them with my own eyes. And they weren't wearing a pointy hat or green makeup. They were like looking like everyday people, looking fancy, looking rich, and literally casting spells. And I also think that we have to be careful with our words because casting spells is not hocus pocus. Our words have power at the end of the day. So we just have to be careful with what we put out there into the atmosphere. What did you say, Erica? I missed it. Sometimes the chat be going too fast for me to keep up with. Hold on, I'm trying to scroll. Ooh. I missed it. Okay, if you still have your question in your mind, can you put it back? What's up, B Millie? Hi, is that Jeanette? What's going on? Erica, if you have if you have it, I can't find it. I saw something about, sorry, I'm shaking y'all. I saw something about, I responded to that though with the stress. I don't know if it was something else. That was earlier before I started reading. Thank you. I can't find it. If you still have it, let me know and I'll try to respond to that. I feel like there was one other question from earlier that somebody asked me and I said I was going to circle back to. Oh, I think it was an intimacy deficient marriage. I think that's what it was. I can't remember exactly. I'm trying to find it now too. Oh. I can't find that either. I have no idea. Hi. Thank you. I hope all is well with you as well. Erica, if you're still here, I'm gonna be just a couple more minutes. So let me know. Otherwise, you can send me a message if you remember. But Intimacy-less marriage. I'm using that just, so I don't get censored on here. But I'm gonna just put it to you frankly. I can't speak for everybody because some people's values are different, but like it it's a no for me. I was in one, didn't fare well, didn't go well. I think that for majority of men and women, intimacy is a big part of companionship and marriage. And to be in a marriage with in its absence, I could definitely, like, I would vote that majority of the time it is going to wear on the marriage in a really negative way. So, yeah, intimacy deficient marriage is a topic. It is. It's an important one. Which reminds me, I told y'all that I was going to be starting a community. I will be launching my community next week. I have my outline together. I'm going to be doing, like, there's a lot that's going to be coming. The first few months of my community will be free, and it's not just for divorced people. The focus will be on dating after divorce, but someone asked yesterday, would it be a good space for single people who want to get married? Yes. I made the grave mistake when I was single and judgmental. I was a very different person back then, but I made the grave mistake to disregard the opinions and the wisdom of people who had walked through divorce, thinking like, oh, well, your marriage failed, so you can't add any value. I was wrong. I was wrong. And I talked to the people while I was going through divorce. I was talking to people who had went through it before me, and they were like, we tried to tell you. We tried to tell you what signs to look out for. We tried to tell you how to learn. Now, granted, there's a way to teach, and not everybody, like, I don't want to listen to bitter people, although you can always learn. If you look for the lesson, you can always learn. But I'm not bitter about my marriage. I'm not bitter about my divorce. I'm better because of it, and that's my goal. And so what I'll be teaching is strategy on how to navigate it if it's something that you're contemplating or something that you're currently going through, and how to become a better person because of it and in spite of it, and how to date differently, because there are things that I ignored, especially as a woman of faith, that I wish I had been privy to prior to going through a divorce. But sometimes you don't know until you know. And so if you can learn from what I went through and I can help you avoid going down the path I went through, I highly recommend that you join a community. It'll be great. It'll be great. Witchcraft is real, and so are curse words that bind you into situations. Yes. And mind you, Tony, this is why you a real one. He said curse words, not cuss words. And I'm not about to get into a whole tangent about cuss words, but I think sometimes we be feeling like the two are the same, and they're not. Literal curses, like saying, I'll never da 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 da. I'll never be this, or I'll never amount to that, or I'll never have this kind of whatever. Those are curses. Those are word curses. That is a spell that you can speak over yourself. So I've made it my habit in the mornings when I'm saying my prayers, I renounce every word curse spoken about me, to me, or by me. I say that every morning. I renounce every word curse spoken about me, to me, or by me. If somebody is talking about me and trying to say, oh, well, Christal will never, da 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 da, I renounce it. I come out of agreement with it. That does not belong to me. If I mistakenly said, oh, I'll never, da, da, nope, I renounce it. I come out of agreement with that. I come into agreement with God's best for me. That is my part of my affirmation every day. So I recommend that you do that as well. Can't be talking about marriage with Marilyn on the wall. That's not Marilyn. It's not. Let's define intimacy. What does it mean to be intimate with your partner? Many people are in legal bondages, I'm assuming. Glad you're better, not bitter. That's major. So intimacy is more than just physical. I chose the word intimacy because I didn't want to, like, sometimes they censor us because this is not a 18 and over live. But yeah, intimacy is more than just the physical. It's emotional, it's mental, and it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. But the reality remains is that if you are not connecting with your spouse, you are probably going to run into some issues at the end of the day. Thank you. Yes, agreed. Yes, I love Lucy as well. Thank you. I don't know. I don't have no bad luck now. I had some unsavory experiences for sure, but I'm blessed. I got good things coming. That's what I'm speaking. Yes, that is I Love Lucy, not Marilyn Monroe. That is Lucille Ball. Lucille Ball. That face was, yeah. I posted my thoughts again in the chat. Why am I not seeing? Wait, no. I'm not seeing it, Erica. I don't know what's going on. Let me see something here. Who is this? You got to go. You got to go. I don't know what's going on with that, but you got to go. Sorry, I'm looking at some of these. Some of y'all got to go. Go to bed. Go lay down. Only thing you have coming is what's promised the human transition. Okay. I didn't see anything. Okay, I thought I was tripping. Erica, I don't know what's going on, but I'm not seeing your comments come through. But feel free to send me an email if it's something that you want to send that we could talk about it. But yeah, y'all, that's what I got for you, because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have food today. I had a protein shake and a slice of toast. I know, real bad. Why would you do that? And when I say all day, I mean all day. That's all I had, all day. And I'm starting to feel it. So I'm going to go have a little dinner. I'm going to get my work done. And I'm going to go lay down. Tomorrow is the last day to vote for the next date. Y'all done already seen what happens when y'all don't be paying attention and like really listening. So please, for the love of God, listen. If you got to go and watch the full videos, watch. You know what I'm saying? Watch the full videos on Bonus View. Because, whoo, child, that date y'all had put me on last week was an interesting date. It was interesting. Please go vote. Also, one last thing. I had this idea, and I think y'all will like it. So I know Erica in particular has been asking, she mentioned, she's going to miss these daily lives. I've been thinking about things that I can do on live, because like I enjoy reading this book. I have tons of other books that are not this, like not doing another fast, but just story times. And I was also thinking about doing live reactions. I think those could be fun, because like I do them just sitting and I'm like literally reacting out loud, because that's just all I do is just commentary all day. And I'll be cracking up and I'm like, I look up and an hour has passed and I'm just sitting here cracking up doing live commentaries on things. So I was wondering if y'all might actually like that too. Right? It was a lot. That last one was a lot. But I think that y'all might actually like that too. With a panel, of course, with a panel. Yes, KG has been trying to get me to do it with a panel as well. So I could do that as well. Although we're gonna have some perimeters. We're gonna have some perimeters with the conversation, because I knock all of this over. I will shut the whole thing down. I will boot people right out the room, because we're gonna have to keep it. But I think it will be fun. I have some really fun reactions planned coming up. My problem is I'd be so excited about the stuff that I'm gonna talk about that I just post too much at one time, and it'd be like, why you do that? So yes, cool. Now that I know that there is some interest, I will do that. Thank you. I will do that. And yep, that's all I got for y'all. I love you. I'm always rooting for you. Have a wonderful evening. And I will talk to you tomorrow. A panel will be cool. I'm going to vet the people, I promise. And Tony, you take care of yourself, okay? I hope that you get out of the ICU and back home very soon. All right. I love y'all. I'm rooting for you. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.